So how much fighting did you two do with each other growing up?
A lot.
All the time?
Every day.
From that big?
Until I can remember, since I can remember we was fighting each other.
We weren't allowed to practice with each other growing up wrestling because we would turn it into a fight. And
so wrestling became pancration every time, did it?
Pretty
basically,
much. Pretty much. The Russian grappling, that's what it turned out to be.
And who got the upper hand generally?
Come on.
it wasn't him.
Me, every time.
No, not him every time.
I'm not asking for a demonstration right now. Right? I'm not trying to...
I ain't gonna lie. When we were little, I cheated. I grabbed appendages, toes and fingers, and bent them.
I mean, it's playground rules, right? I mean, that's not MMA.
For real.
We got some crazy stories I can tell you, but probably not the best.
But you're very close, aren't you? One can tell you're very, very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been a while away from each other, actually, for quite a while now.
Well, I was going to say, there was talk about whether or not you guys would actually train together, right? And you made the decision not to?
Convincing him, trying to get him to come out there and check it out.
I'm trying to get him to come back home. So, and he shake his head no, and I'm like, maybe sometime in the future.
There's more to the world than just Portland, Oregon, you know? And until you move away, you never see something different.
Very true, very true.
You know, I've spent time overseas in foreign countries for months at a time. You know, so there's just things like that when you live somewhere else and you live in a different culture and you get exposed to different stuff. You have a different perspective. Just your perspective broadens. It's just a narrow perspective when you stay home though, your whole life.
I was going to say, so what's the counter argument?
I really don't have one because even our mentor Roy Pittman has told me I should probably go see what it's like to go live in Arizona with him. And I'm not saying I won't do it anytime soon. I just don't want to do it right now.
What's it going to take? I mean, do you think it's going to take something in the cage to change your mind, or do you think it's something about life to change your mind?
Something about life.
His girlfriend. Tell you what it is.
Keeping it real, putting him on blast right now.
His girlfriend. He don't want to leave his girlfriend.
But does love sustain you?
Wow.
Does love sustain any man?
No. I mean,
He ain't married. He ain't got kids.
I do love her, but no, love doesn't sustain everything. My love for fighting overweighs the love for her. She wanted to come here and she couldn't, so, and I was happy that she couldn't because it takes my focus away. Stay home. I'll be back.
So what's it like for you two guys right now to both be on this card and fighting for Bellator?
It's awesome.
It's exciting. You know,
Even though he should go first.
We haven't
He got less fights.
wrestled with each other in a long time, you know, at the same tournament. I competed in a long time at the same time, so it's just nice to be able to have someone that you grew up with there every day.
You think it's going to feel different? I mean, a wrestling tournament, obviously, a little bit different as far as intensity and nerves, I would think. For a mixed martial arts competition, you think it's going to be a little different with the nerves and the concern for your brother, basically?
It's going to be a little different because, honestly, I wanted to go to all three of his first fights, and I wasn't able to because I didn't have the finances, and I was training for my own fights coming up at the time. And me being nervous for him, not at all. We properly trained ourselves to get ready for our fights and our opponents, and we're gonna go out there and show everybody what we can do, which is win and impress.
Feel the same?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I feel like I get close to even my teammates fighting. Everybody gets those nerves when you see somebody that you trust and you care about fighting. But besides that, you know, it's a job. We're here to do a job, so you got to compete, go perform.
You guys are both still really early in your career, but because it's such a unique story, I mean, obviously you're getting the attention now, and I think as you continue to win, you'll continue to get more attention maybe earlier in your career. Do you welcome that? Is it good? I mean, attention sometimes means money, but it also means a little more pressure and expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've always had a lot of pressure, even, you know, before he got here. It was always still a lot of pressure to perform and compete. But, I mean, I won't care about the pressure unless it equals more dollars. You know what I mean? That's what this is for. That's what this is about. And if it doesn't equal more dollars, then it don't make sense to me.
For sure.
So yeah, I don't mind the pressure. It's normal to me now. I've been fighting for a very long time, and it's normal now. You can't let it get to you, because if you let it get to you, what you're really focusing on, your fight, which your focus is not on that. Your focus is on the pressure that's on your back or on your neck and what you got to come up with. And I don't break under pressure. What's that word? I relish it.
What do you think you guys, as far as moving forward, do you think you guys will want to keep fighting on the same card and be able to kind of be that twin billing, so to speak? Or is it more about, is this kind of an evaluation, to wait and see, let's see, how comfortable we are, how we feel, and then we'll decide if we should take kind of separate paths or maybe try to get, always booked together?
I really don't care. I mean,
Yeah.
Like I said, it's here to do a job. So, I mean, I would love to always be there to support him. I'm going to support him regardless in that sense. But, for us to fight on the same card, sometimes our schedules might not work out. If someone gets injured, then you have to take that time off. I'm not going to wait for him to come back, So it's just the job. If they want us to continue to fight together and we keep performing, then I love that.
I really don't mind if they put us on the same card after this because it's a job, like you said, and there's no other way to handle it except for like a job.
What would be nice, the ideal would be us fighting on the same card, and if we had it in Portland.
Yes.
We had a card in Portland, Oregon, us fighting on the same card. I think that would be something special.
It'll sell out very quickly.
To be home in front of our home crowd and where we grew up and stuff, I think we'd have a lot of support, and that would be special.
That'd be very cool. So what do you guys think about Friday night? I mean, your own matchups, do you think impressed? I mean, do you feel like you've matched up against tough competition? Do you feel like you can go in there and smoke guys? How do you guys feel about your own matchups?
I'll let you go first.
Another win, just another win. I feel real confident going into the fight.
How about yourself?
I see myself being 4-0, but I'd never take anything away from my opponents. Fight can go either way. It's a fight. But I always tell myself this, and I have a little green card that our mentor gave us, I believe card. I believe I'm going to walk out that cage with my hand held high and my head up high. He ain't going to be able to stop that unless he stops me, which very many people haven't done yet, and I don't think very many people can.
I'm right in thinking that one of you or both of you trained with Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, he does.
We wrestled with him growing up,
Yeah.
But I'm his training partner.
Yeah, we've been in the same wrestling club since we were in third grade with Joe.
With a lot of this very famous wrestling coaches. And
Matt
it's
Lynn-
incredible, isn't
Matt
it?
Lynn in the same wrestling club.
Yeah,
so
like 2 or 3
Matt
amazing
Lynn,
people.
Mike Pierce, Chael.
That's right, yeah.
Ed Herman has actually stopped in there a few times. There's been a lot of people from Portland that has gone to that wrestling club, and they've said the same thing everybody else says about my mentor. He's one of the greatest people you ever hear speak, and when you ask him a question about life, he'll give you the straight up answer.
What would you say that you're talking about Chael there, yeah?
Yeah.
You were referring to Chael there.
Oh, he was referring to our Coach Pittman.
Oh, to Pittman, to
Coach
Lord
Pittman,
Pittman.
yeah, the head coach there.
What about Chael though? I mean, what kind of mentor has he proved to you in terms of, obviously, he's 40, he's been around a while, he really has fought who's who of the very leading fighters. If you look at Henderson and John Jones, just as a couple of names, for example.
He's helped me a lot just with not letting all of the sport of MMA get to you and not letting it break your focus. He's coached me on that. He's helped me with that, and I can do nothing but thank him.
I mean, for me, when I first signed with Bellator, he was actually like one of my first calls. And it was just really to ask him more about how to handle the business aspect of it. Because I understood from coming from wrestling that it was very different, how to approach the game. And so from him, I just learned how to treat it more like a business, not a professional. And I think that was a really big opener just because, not mentors, but sponsorships and agents and managers in this game is a little fishy. So he helped me prepare for that and kind of navigated me a little bit on what to do with that.
Yeah, my question, I'd been reading about this, I want to see if you guys could clarify it. The story, apparently you once kicked him out the window? Or
Yeah.
what happened?
No.
The floor is yours.
He has a scar on the back of his head because a week before he dropped a hammer on my face. And yeah, we kind of.
I don't even remember why it happened.
He was jumping on my mom's bed. I ran up and I did a WWE drop kick, and I kicked him into the windowsill. And then I took off like the Flash and barricaded myself in the room.
This isn't a few weeks ago, obviously.
Oh, no.
This is many years ago.
No.
Probably like 11, maybe 12, 11, 12.
All right. I guess for fans who may be wondering, what is the biggest thing you guys have in common, and what's the biggest difference between the two of you?
Well, he's Orthodox and I'm Southpaw.
That's a big one.
And the one thing that everybody can see from both of us is a great blast double.
Yeah, wrestling. I guess the wrestling would be very comparable in that sense because we both grew up wrestling. But fighting styles, I think, is pretty different actually.
Okay.
I'm more loose.
Cool. Thanks,
Are
good.
Mum and Dad coming? Are Mum and Dad coming on Friday night?
No, they're not able to make it.
But they're presumably they're into you guys doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, very interested and concerned. My mom, she gets a little nervous and worried every time, but
You got to call it.
I've not recalling the card now. Who's on first, and will you be in the corner for?
I'm
you
first.
You're
I'm first. He's second.
Is there any way that you can be in the corner? No, doesn't matter.
Actually, I'll probably be in his corner for his fight, but he won't be in the corner for my fight because he's warming up.
Yeah, but you will try and be there. Then.
Yeah, of course.
if Trevor allows him to be.
So both of you guys weighing, who's picking up the check for dinner?
There's no argument there then.
I don't mind.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.